So Judy, how many animals do you have at the shelter here?
Currently we have probably about 50, cats and dogs included.
50 cats and dogs, wow. And what is the difference between animal control and an animal shelter?
Well, they're pretty much the same, animal shelters and animal control. Primarily the reason Animal Services, we've changed our name since we've been moved up under the Sheriff's Department. The primary reason Animal Services exists is for rabies control. We're not an adoption agency, we do offer that service, but we're primarily rabies control.
And what is the cost of the adoption?
If you're in a New Hanover County, it is $70. If you're outside of New Hanover County, it's $60. The difference between the prices is New Hanover County residents have to pay a registration fee, and all animals that are spayed that are adopted from our shelter are spayed and neutered. And so if you have a pet, it's 1 year registration fee. It's $10 for spayed and neuter pets.
And do you put down any animals here? Do you have to put down?
We do. We euthanize, and it's 100% injection. We do not use a gas chamber.
Okay. Let's see what's the last one. And why do you think so many animals end up at the shelter here?
Owner irresponsibility. They don't come looking for them. They don't have identification on them where we can locate the owner. Too many to find homes for. They can't afford them. A lot of people, they think that they'll get in trouble if they come looking for them. A lot of people dump them. They think they'll get in trouble if they can't legitimately take care of them and they're a New Hanover County resident. They think they'll get in trouble if they turn them into us, and they won't. We would rather that they turn them into us than to just dump them somewhere, expecting somebody to give them a home. But the bottom line is owner irresponsibility.
That's it.
All right. I just had a few questions related to that.
Thank you.
How often do you guys euthanize animals, and why would that occur?
It depends on the number of animals that we have. It depends on the breed. And when I say number of animals, that could mean that if we have, we don't adopt out pits, pit mixes, chows, or chow mixes, and it depends on if the animal has become our property or not. Any strays that we get, whether they're chow mixes, pits, pit mixes, we have to hold them for a given amount of time. If we see that they have an owner, collar, neutered male, if we can see a spay scar, if they've been recently groomed, or crop deers and stuff like that, we can tell that dog's been owned. We hold it for 5 working days. If it's a feral cat, feral dog, not taken care of, we hold it for 3 working days. And then once that animal becomes our property, a decision is made. And like I said, if it's a feral animal, it's going to be put to sleep, injection, and it's a necessary evil. We try to educate the public and focus on low kill, because we have to take the animals that the New Hanover County residents don't want. We have to, that's our job. There's too many homes. There's not enough homes for the number of animals that there are. So, and a lot of times, right now we're kind of low on the number of animals we have, but we're coming up on puppy and kitten season. I don't mean to cut in. This is Jenny Hoyt. She was going to come in here and she could pick the brain. You could pick her brain too of something I couldn't answer.
Hey.
But that's the reason we could do it every day, depending on, like I said, the number of animals that we have, how soon they become our property. We have more cats to come in than dogs. A lot of feral cats out there. Some feral cats are part of colonies. We have Friends of Feline who, if you're a caretaker of a feral cat colony, they'll help you trap, spay, neuter, vaccinate with rabies, and release them back if you're the caretaker. But then there's a lot of feral cats that there's not caretakers for, and they get put to sleep.
Is there a cost of the euthanasia, like every shot or something, or?
We do have to purchase euthanasia solution. You have to have a DEA license and a veterinarian. you know, an overseer of the shelter, so you do have to have that in order to purchase it. It is a controlled substance.
And occasionally we have people that come in and request it.
Yeah, like if their animal's old, you know, and it needs to be put to sleep,
Which in that case, I think we charge them.
$20.
All right, that's all I got for now. Got
Any
any?
more questions?
I don't know. Do you want to ask anything? Did you ask all the questions on that list, or
All the
anything
ones
else?
They're really gonna help us. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
You
it's
did such a great
okay.
job.
No, it's okay. No, that's fine.
That was a lot of information. That's
Yeah.
that's the story that we're trying to
you
present.
already
Is
ask
that
that?
the owners are just not doing
They're
anything. It's just-
irresponsible, you know, like I said, educating, getting your animals vaccinated, spaying and neutering, those are the biggies.
Yeah, because we were talking about it, like we want animals, but we
Mhm.
can't afford it, so we're
Right.
not gonna.
They're a luxury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really
It's a
are.
luxury.
And everything we adopt
Especially if
out
they
of
get
here
sick or
is
something.
spayed and neutered, rabies vaccinated. We used to give a voucher to here, take your animal to the vet when it's old enough. You know, we'll pay $35 and the vet will or, you know, spay and neuter it for that price. We did some research, and this was years ago. We found out, excuse me, that we were contributing to 50% of the animals not being spayed and neutered that were coming out of here. Then we contracted with the vets where if someone would come into the shelter and adopt an animal, we would call and make an appointment with the vet for the next business day, and we would transport that animal to the vet, and then the new owner would pick it up from the vet. That worked out well, but when we were closed for an extended amount of time, like for the holidays, that kind of put a damper on the spirit, you know, of the person adopting, because they, you know, want to take it home for my kid and stuff like that. And now, our previous director, they went to the Management Academy of Public Health. They have to put a business plan together, and their business plan was to put an on-site spay and neuter clinic. And it took about 4 years for it to actually break ground, but we have an on-site spay and neuter clinic now. So everything is spayed and neutered before it goes up for adoption. So that's part of the fee that you pay for adoption, and you'll never pay that cheap of amount to get a
No, it actually
spayed and
costs us
neutered.
more
Yeah.
per animal with the shelter and the food and all the stuff we do for them. So,
But we'd rather find a forever home
Mhm.
for them, you know, and know that they're going out of here spayed and neutered and not contributing
That's
to the
right.
pet overpopulation. So,
And you guys said that it's not at full capacity right now. What is like the maximum number of pets that you could take?
well, we are an evacuation shelter for the New Hanover County animals during, like hurricanes and stuff. And during Hurricane Fran, I believe we had about 280 animals. Because the way our runs are set up, you can drop the guillotine door and make them into 2 runs. On occasion during the spring and summertime, we have to drop the guillotine doors to make 2 runs for the dogs. And we get that way sometimes.
we don't like it because it's harder on the dogs. So
Yeah.
we do what we can, but we don't see it like that often.
No, but when it's a evacuation type
We do put 'em
situation,
down.
we, you know, try to do what we can to get as many in here so that people can evacuate, you know, and the animals are taken care of here. But that's the most we've ever had, and that included chickens and goats and a little bit of everything. So,
Ducks.
yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I was thinking about, like, I don't know how much you could answer this, but do you know, like, what process a person has to go through if they want to sell their animals, or is there any regulation?
If you bred an animal or just wanted to sell it, you can put an ad in the paper. If you bred an animal to sell the puppies, the county ordinance states that you do have to get a breeder's permit, which is $20, and you have to get that within 3 days of the puppies being born. And that's pretty much the gist of selling your animals here.
Okay.
We do have restrictions where if you were with an outside organization bringing animals into the county from like Cumberland County or
Adoption fairs and
yeah,
stuff.
they have to be spayed and neutered in order to be adopted in New Hanover County. Yeah, and one other thing, just to put this out there, when I said rabies control, We investigate bites, any animal that's, or human that's bitten by an animal, any animal exposure or human exposure from a fox or raccoon, skunk, bat, anything like that. And I have some numbers here, because we have an officer that's on call, and these are statistics from last year. We investigated 608 bites. We actually had 3,760 animals impounded last year. We had 764 adopted, and it gives the number that were euthanized. And I can get you to sign a public release form, and I can give these to you statistics if you would like.
That'd be great.
Okay, but that was, like I said, that's our primary reason for existence, is rabies control.
Mhm.
So.
All right. Is that all?